I used to think space was just a normal part of relationships, the kind of thing mature couples talk about when life gets stressful. But the night he said it to me, it didn't feel mature. It felt like a slow, cold crack forming somewhere deep inside my chest. And the worst part? I didn't even see it coming. My boyfriend, Liam, wasn't the type to talk in dramatic sentences or drop emotional bombs. If anything, he was the calmest person I knew. The type who would listen before reacting, breathe before speaking, and make you feel safe just by standing next to you. That's why, when he came home that evening, quiet, tense, eyes avoiding mine, I felt the ground shift before he even opened his mouth. He dropped his keys on the counter, didn't kiss me, didn't hug me, didn't even say hi. He just stood there, frozen. "Liam, you okay?" I asked softly. He swallowed hard. "Can we talk?" You never want to hear those 3 words from someone you love. Not when their voice sounds tired, not when their shoulders look heavy, not when you can already feel your heartbeat crawling into your throat. I sat on the couch, waiting. I tried to smile, tried to make things feel normal, but nothing was normal. He sat across from me instead of next to me. "I think I need space," he finally said. Just like that. No build-up, no explanation, no warning. I blinked at him, trying to process the words. "Space from me?" He nodded slowly. "I'm overwhelmed. Work, life, everything. I just need to clear my head." And maybe I'm stupid, but I believed him. I believed every shaky word that came out of his mouth because I loved him, because for 3 years he had been the one constant thing in my life, the one person I trusted without question. So I said the most painful, pathetic thing anyone in love can say. "Okay, if you need space, I'll give it to you." He sighed in relief. Not sadness, not regret, but relief. And that should have been my first red flag. But I didn't notice. Because when you're in love, you don't look for red flags. You look for reasons to stay. For the first few days, I tried to be strong. I didn't text him, I didn't call him, I didn't show up at his place. I just waited, like he asked. But waiting gives your mind too much room to wander. And wandering minds aren't kind. I replayed every moment from the last few months. The way he stopped holding my hand in public, the way he'd turn his phone face down at dinner, the way he'd suddenly become too busy for date nights, the way he'd smile at his notifications but never tell me who messaged him. And slowly, painfully, the truth started stitching itself together in my head. Something was wrong, terribly wrong. By the 4th day, I couldn't take it anymore. I needed to hear his voice. I needed to know if this space was temporary or permanent. So I called him. He didn't pick up. I called again. Still nothing. After the 6th call, he finally texted, "I told you I need space. Please respect that." The message felt like a punch, a cold, distant punch from someone who used to kiss my forehead every morning. My best friend, Mia, told me to stop being naive. "Girl, when a man says space, it's because he already made space for someone else," she said bluntly. But I didn't want to believe her. Until the 7th day. The day everything shattered. I went grocery shopping in the morning, trying to distract myself from the ache in my chest. I wasn't expecting anything unusual. I wasn't expecting drama or clues or revelations. But life doesn't warn you before breaking your heart. It just does. As I was leaving the store, I saw something, no, someone, familiar across the parking lot. Liam, laughing, smiling, and he wasn't alone. A girl, tall, gorgeous, perfectly dressed, hair tied in a slick ponytail, was standing next to him, holding his arm. Not touching, not leaning, not half innocently brushing, holding his arm. Like she belonged there, like she had been there, like she was supposed to be there. My breath caught in my throat. It felt like the whole world went silent. People walked past me, cars moved, someone dropped a carton of eggs nearby, but I didn't hear anything. I only heard my heartbeat, loud, violent, unsteady. I ducked behind a car instinctively, hiding, but I also felt frozen. They walked toward Liam's car together, laughing like they shared some private joke. She playfully smacked his shoulder. He pretended to be offended. She leaned her head on him. And then he kissed her forehead. The kiss he used to give me. The kiss he told me he didn't feel like doing anymore. Suddenly, Mia's words echoed in my head. When a man asks for space, check who he's filling it with. I stood there trembling, my groceries still in my hand, my world collapsing in slow motion. He didn't need space. He needed freedom. Freedom to cheat. Freedom to be with her. Freedom from me. Tears filled my eyes, but I blinked them away. Because crying didn't even feel enough. It didn't match the scale of the betrayal I was witnessing. And then, the worst thing happened. He looked up. He saw me. Our eyes met. For a split second, his smile faded. His face drained of color. He knew. He knew I knew. But instead of running to explain, instead of rushing toward me, instead of letting go of her, he looked away. He looked away. Like I was a stranger. Like I didn't matter. Like 3 years of love could be erased by 7 days and another woman's touch. In that moment, something inside me broke so cleanly, so deeply, I knew nothing would ever be the same again. I didn't remember how I got home. I don't remember crossing the parking lot, unlocking my car, or driving through the quiet morning streets. All I remember is gripping the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. Like the only thing keeping me from falling apart was the leather under my fingertips. I didn't cry. Not at first. The betrayal was too big for tears. It sat in my chest like a stone, cold and heavy, weighing down every breath I tried to take. The moment I reached my apartment, though, everything collapsed. I closed the door behind me and slid to the floor. And then I cried. Not the soft, graceful crying you see in movies. The real crying. The painful kind. The kind that makes your body shake and your voice break in ugly gasps you can't control. I cried because I was stupid. I cried because I believed him. I cried because I loved him more than he ever loved me. And worst of all, I cried because he had moved on while I was still holding on. After an hour, or maybe more, my phone buzzed. My heart jumped. I knew it was him. I hoped it was him. Maybe to explain, maybe to apologize, maybe to tell me it wasn't what it looked like. But reality isn't kind. It was a message from Mia. "Babe, are you okay? You left your location on. Why are you home so early?" She knew something was wrong the second I didn't respond. Mia wasn't just my friend. She was the kind of person who could hear silence and know exactly what it meant. A few minutes later, she was at my door. I didn't even have to tell her. She saw my face, walked in quietly, sat beside me, and held me. I told her everything, every detail, the girl, the laughter, the kiss, the look he gave me when he realized I had seen him. Mia listened in complete silence. Then, with a calm, deadly voice, she said, "He didn't just break your heart. He insulted your intelligence." I sniffed. I should have known. "No," she said firmly. "He should have respected you." But respect was the last thing Liam had given me. The message. Later that evening, my phone buzzed again. This time, it was Liam. My stomach twisted as I opened the message. "Can we talk?" That was it. 3 simple words, like the 3 that started this entire mess. I didn't respond. Not because I wanted to ignore him, but because I didn't trust myself to think clearly. He sent another message. "I saw you today. I didn't want you to find out like that." I stared at the screen in disbelief. Didn't want me to find out? Like what? Like the truth? Mia snatched my phone. "Block him." I grabbed it back instantly. "No, I want to hear what he says." "Why?" she asked. "Closure?" I nodded. But we both knew the truth. Closure isn't given, it's taken. 10 minutes later, he texted again. "Please, just let me explain." Explain what? How he lied? How he cheated? How he kissed another woman while I was grocery shopping like a wife he'd abandoned? I took a deep breath and typed, "Explain." He replied instantly, like he'd been waiting with his phone in his hand. "Her name is Emily. We work together. Things just happened. I'm sorry." Things just happened. The most cowardly sentence a man can write. Mia saw my expression and groaned, "You cannot possibly take that seriously." But the pain in my chest didn't care about logic. It cared about the feeling of being replaced. And nothing hurts more than being replaced by someone who wasn't even part of the story until the end. I texted him, "Why did you ask for space?" His reply made me freeze. "Because I didn't want to hurt you while I figured out how I felt." I read it 5 times. He needed space to decide whether he still wanted me while dating someone else behind my back. The anger hit me like fire. Not the loud kind, not the screaming, throwing things kind, the quiet kind, the dangerous kind, the kind that makes you straighten your back and wipe your tears because suddenly you're not the weak one anymore. I typed one final message. You didn't need space. You needed courage to tell the truth. Then I turned off my phone. Not blocked, not deleted, just off. Because power isn't in removing someone, it's in not needing them anymore. The spiral. The next few days were strange. I felt empty, but also strangely awake, like I'd been living half-conscious for months, and suddenly everything was sharp and clear. I stopped checking my phone, stopped waiting, stopped hoping. But that didn't mean he stopped reaching out. He called, he texted, he emailed. He even sent a message through my brother asking if I was okay. I ignored everything. But every message chipped at me in a different way. A part of me still wanted to hear him beg. A part of me wanted explanations. A part of me wanted him to feel the same pain he gave me. But the largest part, the part that was slowly waking up, wanted something else entirely. And peace didn't live in his words. It didn't live in his apologies. It didn't live in the what ifs or maybes. Peace lived in walking away. The photo. 5 days after seeing him, something happened that I didn't expect. Something that pushed me past pain and into a new kind of heartbreak. A coworker pulled me aside during lunch. "I think you should see this," she said quietly. She showed me her phone. A photo. Liam and Emily. Together. Smiling. Hugging. Posted publicly. Not secretly. Not privately. The caption said, "New beginnings." New beginnings. 3 years together, and I was the ending. She was the beginning. My coworker looked at me cautiously. "I'm so sorry. I didn't want you to find out like this." But this time, oddly, I didn't break, because I already knew. Pain hurts less when the truth is already familiar. Instead, something inside me hardened, not in a bitter way, but in a self-protective way. I finally understood. He didn't want space. He wanted replacement. The shift. That night, Mia came over with face masks, ice cream, and her usual dramatic energy. "Okay," she said, dropping everything on the table. "We are officially entering your villain era." I laughed for the first time in a week. Not a forced laugh, a real one. Mia grinned. "He wants new beginnings? Fine. You'll have one too. But yours won't be a downgrade." I looked at her, feeling something warm rise in my chest. Hope. Not the fragile hope that he'd come back. Not the desperate hope that love could be fixed. A new kind of hope. Hope for myself. And for the first time, I whispered something I didn't realize I needed to hear. "I deserve better." Mia nodded. "You deserve the best." And maybe, just maybe, she was right. I woke up the next morning with a strange clarity. The kind that only comes after hitting a very specific type of rock bottom. The kind where there's nothing left to break, so you finally decide to rebuild. I stared at my reflection in the bathroom mirror. My eyes were swollen, my face was tired, my heart still felt like it was stitched together with shaky hands. But there was something new there too, a quiet, steady determination. A voice inside me whispered, "He took enough from you. Stop giving him more." I took a long, shaky breath and nodded at my own reflection as if making a pact. No more crying over Liam. No more waiting for a message. No more replaying the betrayal in my head. Today was not about him. Today was about reclaiming myself. The unexpected knock. Around noon, just as I was tying my hair into a messy ponytail, I heard a knock at my door. A part of me froze, a tiny, foolish part, hoping it might be Liam showing up to grovel and explain and magically undo everything. But reality gave me someone better. Mia walked in with 2 cups of coffee and an expression like she had a mission. "Okay," she said, dropping both cups on the counter. "Step 1, no more pajamas. Step 2, we go outside. Step 3, we touch grass." I snorted. "Touch grass?" "Yes," she said dramatically, "because your ex touched another woman, so now you need to touch grass and reset your brain." I burst out laughing. She grinned, victorious. "There she is. I knew you were still in there." We spent the next hour getting Betty. Hair, skincare, a little makeup, nothing heavy. Just enough to look like someone who hasn't been crying over a man with the emotional maturity of a teaspoon. When I put on my favorite jeans and a soft white top, I actually felt normal, human, alive. Mia clapped her hands. Good. You look like a woman who destroyed her ex, not the other way around. The cafe. We walked to a small cafe near my apartment. Warm lights, wooden tables, the smell of cinnamon and roasted coffee. It was the kind of place where the air itself felt safe. We sat down with our drinks, and Mia started talking about everything unrelated to heartbreak. Annoying coworkers, reality shows, the universe, her cat's obsession with attacking her socks. For a while, I forgot to be sad. Until someone called my name. I turned around, and my heart skipped. It was Aaron. Tall, soft smile, brown curls he always ruffled when he was nervous. The guy from college who used to save me a seat in every lecture. The guy who once confessed he liked me, except I chose Liam instead. Yeah, that Aaron. What are you doing here? I asked, trying to sound casual. He lifted a small paper bag. Coffee and pastries. I live 2 blocks away now. Mia looked at him, then at me. Her eyes widened like she had discovered buried treasure. Oh, she whispered under her breath. Oh, this is interesting. Aaron smiled gently. It's okay, I heard. I froze. You heard? He nodded slowly. Yeah, Liam posted a picture with that girl. I figured something must have happened. My stomach dropped. He posted it publicly? Aaron nodded again. I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that. The way he said it, quiet, sincere, made something warm and painful twist inside me. I looked down at my cup. Thanks. He hesitated, then asked the question I didn't expect. Do you want to talk about it? I shook my head. Not yet. I'm still processing. He nodded. Then I won't push. Just, if you ever need a friend, I'm around. A friend. A friend with soft eyes and a voice that didn't make my chest tighten in pain. A friend who wasn't lying to me. A friend who wasn't choosing someone else behind my back. It felt comforting, unexpectedly comforting. Mia raised an eyebrow as Aaron walked away. So, that was something. It was nothing, I insisted. It was something, she said firmly. And don't worry, I'm not saying rebound. I'm saying hope. Hope. There was that word again. The spiral from him. That evening, when I got home, my phone was buzzing nonstop. Liam, again. 5 missed calls, 7 messages, 1 voicemail. I didn't want to listen, but curiosity is a dangerous thing. I hit play. His voice came through, shaky, frantic. Hey, please answer. I know you're hurting. I know I messed up. I shouldn't have posted that photo yet. Emily wanted to make it official, but I wasn't ready. I still care about you. A lot. Please don't shut me out. We can fix this. Just talk to me. I closed my eyes. It was the first time he sounded afraid. Not afraid of losing me because he loved me, but afraid because he realized I wasn't chasing him anymore. Liam didn't miss me. He missed my loyalty, my softness, my willingness to forgive. He didn't miss my heart. He missed the version of me who always put him first. I deleted the voicemail, not because I hated him, but because I was done letting him hurt me twice. Night thoughts. That night, I sat on my bed, lights off, the soft glow of the city drifting through the curtains. For the first time in a long time, my mind wasn't replaying kisses or fights or smiling memories with Liam. It was replaying today. The laugh with Mia, the coffee, the moment I saw myself in the mirror and didn't look broken. And Aaron's smile. Not romantic, not yet, just gentle, safe. A reminder that I wasn't unlovable. I wasn't replaceable. I wasn't the problem. Liam didn't need space. He needed someone weak enough to tolerate his confusion. And for the first time, I wasn't that person anymore. I curled under my blanket, closed my eyes, and whispered to myself, Healing starts now. The morning sunlight seeped through my curtains, gentle and unhurried, as if it had no idea about the storm that had just passed in my life. I stretched lazily, feeling the softness of my bed, and for the first time in weeks, I didn't wake up with the weight of betrayal pressing on my chest. I smiled, small, quiet, almost guilty, but it felt real. Somehow, despite the heartbreak, the humiliation, and the endless nights of crying, I had survived. And more than that, I had begun to grow. A text that shook me. As I scrolled through my phone, a message from an unknown number caught my eye. "Hey, saw your story on TikTok? You're amazing. Stay strong. Heart." I blinked. Then another, and another. People, strangers really, were sending me encouragement. Comments about my courage, my honesty, my strength. Some were funny, some were empathetic, some were downright heartwarming. It hit me. I wasn't alone. My pain wasn't just a private, humiliating secret anymore. It had become a bridge to others who had been hurt too. And the realization was powerful. Mia's wisdom. Later that day, Mia arrived at my apartment, armed with snacks and her usual unstoppable energy. "Guess what?" she said, before I could even greet her. "What?" I asked, cautiously. She plopped down beside me. "I've been watching how you've handled Liam, and honestly, girl, you're a legend. Most people would have spiraled. You didn't just survive, you thrived. And I'm proud of you." I laughed nervously, brushing my hair behind my ear. "It doesn't feel like thriving. It feels weird, empty." "That's because thriving isn't about suddenly being happy," she said. "It's about learning that your worth isn't tied to someone who doesn't value you. You're building yourself from scratch, brick by brick. And trust me, the view from the top is amazing." I let her words sink in. They didn't heal everything at once, but they reminded me of something crucial. My life wasn't over, not even close. An unexpected encounter. The next day, I went for a walk to clear my mind. My favorite park, quiet trails, birds chirping. I needed nature, space, peace. And I got more than I expected. Liam appeared. He stood there, hands shoved in his pockets, eyes avoiding mine. "Hi," he muttered. I felt a flicker of old feelings. Irritation, curiosity, anger, disappointment, all mixed together. We need to talk," he said. I shook my head. "No, we don't." He swallowed hard. "I know I messed up. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have done any of it. But I love you. I want you back." I laughed softly. It wasn't a mean laugh. It was calm, controlled, final. "I know you love the idea of me," I said gently, "but what you did wasn't about love. It was about selfishness, about control, about testing my patience and loyalty. You didn't give me space. You gave me betrayal. And that changes everything." He looked stunned, speechless. For once, the power wasn't his. I continued, my voice steady, resolute. "I've spent the past few weeks rebuilding myself, and I've realized something. I don't need someone who can't respect me. I don't need someone who thinks space is an excuse for dishonesty. I need someone who sees me, really sees me, and chooses me every day." Liam's eyes softened, but it was too late. I didn't care anymore that he saw me. I cared that I saw myself. A new beginning. That evening, I went out with Mia and a few close friends. Laughter, music, clinking glasses, late-night snacks. Life felt vibrant again. Aaron texted me during dinner. "Hope you're having a good night. Heart." I smiled, typing back, "I am. Thank you, really." It was simple, friendly, safe. And in that simplicity, I felt a spark of excitement. Not desperation, not need, just the quiet thrill of life moving forward. Because life is bigger than one person's betrayal. Life is bigger than heartbreak. Life is bigger than being a red flag or a mistake. Life is about reclaiming yourself, your peace, your joy. And slowly, I was learning to do that. Unapologetically, fiercely, beautifully. Reflection. That night, I journaled. I wrote about my pain, my anger, my tears. I wrote about the lessons I had learned. That self-worth cannot be borrowed from someone else's love. That betrayal reveals character, theirs, not mine. That healing isn't linear, but it's inevitable if you let it happen. That friends, laughter, and small joys are not secondary to love. They are the foundation. That hope, even in tiny doses, can ignite the courage to move forward. I wrote until my hand ached, and then I read my words aloud. I am enough. I am whole. I am deserving of love, respect, and honesty, and I will never settle for less. I felt it in my bones. The final moment. A few days later, Liam tried to call again. I didn't answer. I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel sadness. I felt peace. I wasn't bitter. I wasn't broken. I was alive. And that was enough. Because life, real life, isn't about the people who leave. It's about the strength you find when they do. The world is big, the heart is resilient, and the story doesn't end with betrayal. It begins with your courage to rise. I smiled at the ceiling that night. Tomorrow, I'd go for a run. Tomorrow, I'd meet Aaron for coffee. Tomorrow, I'd laugh with Mia until my cheeks hurt. And tomorrow, I'd know, deep down, that nothing, not betrayal, not heartbreak, not lies, could ever steal me from myself again.